Hello, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome. Welcome back if you have. My intention is unity and oneness. I want to just go into a little flow. I just did a video with energy update and just sharing what I've been seeing in the field and what I've been seeing intuitively. And I'll just kind of go into a little flow with my higher guidance team, which is really my higher self from the future. And my collective of energies that I have my connection through my DNA. So that's my little overview of what the energies are that I'm tapping into most of the time. For anybody that was curious. And so as we each take our roles, if you will, we are being invited to take a bow from our previous role. We are being invited to bow out gracefully as we say goodbye to the last part of our old reality, if you will, as it starts to fall apart from one perspective. Yet as that begins to fade away, we begin to recognize that there is a larger play at hand. We begin to play our hand with our new deck of cards, so to speak, and we let the old house of cards begin to fall away, and we begin to speak up. We begin to speak up for the new way in which we wish to communicate. We begin to emerge from our cocoon, if you will, our old habit patterns, our old energetic frequency that we were birthed into in the old reality. And we begin to walk anew. We begin to rebirth in this new landscape. For we begin to see things from a different perspective. We begin to walk in a different directive. Sorry, I'm hearing a couple different songs playing in my background here. We begin to walk with our own individual leadership in the collective as part of the collective, and we add to this collective of energetic energy that is part of our new I'm hearing all kinds of words. Frequency would be the easiest, but I'm seeing I'm being shown like a scribe. Like we're showing maybe new laws, new energetic writings, new leadership roles, whatever roles we would like to assume, whatever roles we would like to fulfill. Now is the time to roll out our map and to begin to draw together what it is that we wish to draw together, what it is that we wish to co-create and draw from. We recognize that we are drawing from an innate and deep internal well and reservoir of, I'm seeing oil. And this has to do with like the cerebral spinal fluid. This has to do with the physical body, but this also has to do with parts of the earth that are now available to us, and it doesn't have to be oil. I'm being called to remind everybody that when I'm sharing these videos, being really open-hearted and open-minded, because it's not necessarily literal. It's a representation of energy sometimes. So as we drill for this, if you will, we become acquisitioned. Now I'm going to play with this a little bit. Because what I'm seeing is, I'm hearing drill for oil and acquisition, but I'm hearing acquisition, and I'm hearing it just bubbles up. So this also has to do with the heart frequency, but it has to do with the brain stem. It has to do with the corona, is what I'm hearing. And there's so much that is happening that we could share in this word pattern, with this patterning, with this pattern of energy and combination of, boy, I've got like 5 streams coming in right now. So let me just sit with that for just a second and see where we want to go with this. That's part of the message, is what I'm being told. Part of the message is we are in the process of absorbing much or reacquiring much of our energy that has been, I'm seeing like it had a cork put in it before. And now that cork has been opened, and this leads me back to the video I just did, which was on aperture. So now more light is coming in, and we're able to recognize the photons, is what I'm hearing. So this photonic submerging is happening, and we are being bathed, if you will, or dipped in, play on words, this photonic light that allows us to submerge ourselves in a very new submersive energy. We are merging the energies that were previously left untapped before. And this untapped potential is creating a charge. For those that are recognizing these potentials are creating a charge. So this goes back to my previous video, which was the 100th monkey effect. So those that have been in charge that are tapped out, we might say, or are seeking to tap out, are being invited to, I'm being shown leaders stepping up and fulfilling those roles seamlessly, even though it may not look like that on the old bandwidth, is what I'm hearing. I'm seeing this old charge that doesn't want to leave, but they're tapped out. Their resources have run dry because of what's happening on the inside that's reflecting on the, so there's just this massive wave, you guys, of light workers that are just like activating and opening, even though it doesn't look like that. So the solar dynamics that are playing with this are highly helpful. And while they are creating or wreaking havoc from one perspective on in some ways, they are doing exactly what is needed to create the collective charge that is needed for all beings and all energies to raise up, to rise up. I'm hearing raising the Jed. It creates a power source. It creates a powerful source of energy, and new tools are now recognized. So as we go down this rabbit hole, we are being invited to drill deeper. We are being invited to look deeper in our regions that have been less paid attention to before. Okay, so there was a bunch of new information that's come out, I think, about underground stuff. So this is part of what I'm being shown. This is also has to do with the human body. So going deeper into this, what we're here to do, asking and inquiring, like look deeper, feel deeper, creating, I'm seeing roots that are stronger, and disabling the roots that are rotten to the core. Because these old root systems have entangled with, if you will, much that is needing to branch out. And so as we disentangle from this molecular structure that we could say has been, what is the word? I'm seeing deemed. So I'm going in and out of flow. So let me just play with this for a moment. I'm seeing a wrecking ball. I don't know why the word's not coming through, but when you it's, you can't live in it anymore. Yet the wreckage and the wrecking ball and the energies that are no longer conducive to our growth are merely old distortions. And so these energies will fall. And so this energy that is coming into play in the new is through you, through me and you, through you as a resource to be in the new now. So we invite all of you to, I'm being shown like keep your chin up kind of thing, because this is something that each of you were birthed here to do from one perspective in your own way. And so there are even those who seek to tap out that were part of the old structure, that were part of the old way. And they are here to play in a new resonance, for they are tired of the old way. Can we seek forgiveness in our hearts? Can we see them as part of the whole picture? Can we restore? I'm hearing how great thou art. Can we see the beauty in the fact that there are those who would seek to go deeper within and come up from the depths of the darkest places to reignite their soul spark, to reignite their connection to soul, energy, and frequency through up-leveling and helping humanity? So this is something to keep in mind. And this is where we go back to discernment, for there will be those who will say a tiger cannot change their stripes. And we would venture to say that there are new, that it may not be a tiger. It actually may be a new, I'm being shown a new cat, like a new, I'm hearing stray cats. Ah, so it's a new kind of animal. So it's not necessarily something we've seen before. It's a hybrid, if you will. It's expanded. It's like I have stripes and polka dots and spots. I'm seeing like shape shifting, and I'm seeing new discoveries are being made that we didn't know before. Can we feel into our own discernment and utilize our own medium, our bodies, our antennae, our heart strings, to feel in truth what is happening? There are those who would seek to distort the truth because they are what was happening and they are stuck to that pretend, I'm hearing happenstance, like they're standing in that and they're not happy with the new stance that some are taking. And yet we invite you to weather the storm, for within inside you is the potential to see through this stormatic, this storm presentation, this automatic presentation that is being offered based on old cycles and recycled information. And while some of this recycled information is true, much of it is based on a thin layer of truth, and most of it is a potential distortion of the highest. I'm hearing junk, like trailer, like a movie trailer. And I'm seeing like, yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of funny, they're using all of my words. So I'm hearing like, I'm seeing a trailer that's come off the hitch, unhitched, right? So it's kind of, they're trying to get it back, but it's too windy because we're unwinding. Like the road, oh boy. So we are being called, so it was on auto drive is what I'm being shown. And now we are driving this new reality forward. So we are being called to ask ourselves, what words are we using to drive this reality forward? Are we playing the old songs over and over again that do not hold love in our hearts? Are we not able to combine our frequency of our heart and mind? For it is no longer a separation, it is one. If we choose to come into that place of non-separation and we step away from duality and we become more of this new reality that is no different than the oneness that we came from in the first place. Yet we are able to see our differences as unique individual opportunities to reflect. I'm seeing all colors on the spectrum, like different colors and different ways of looking at the colors and using the colors and working with the colors. And so all of this prismatic effect that we are each experiencing in our own way is being heightened. So while we see more, we also feel more. And while we feel more, that which has been dislocated, disjointed, that which we have not necessarily worked through is all coming up. So can we, as we go through this life review, as we see others going through their own reviews, can we look back in our rear view with compassion? Can we look back and see from a different perspective? Can we look back and see forward in this new directive in order to reorganize and not step into the old rear view accidentally from one perspective, or be paying so much attention to the past that I'm hearing step into a pothole. This is a play on words. For we are moving forward no matter what, yet we are part of that which is creating the matter. We are part of what is the matter with what has been created, so to speak. So, can we see that and step away from the need to point fingers and to essentially pat ourselves on the back for coming so far with all of this misdirection? I'm hearing flack. And when I say flack, I'm seeing like on a CD. If you guys remember CDs, I think it was called flack. Like, I'm being called to play with that. Flack throwing us off track. Ah. Oh, I didn't know it had a bunch of meanings. Of course it did. My guides always use these words like, "Hey, play with this more." So, flack is a publicity agent to publicize or promote something. So that's a play on words of like we've been given all this flack, all this publicity of philosophy, and I'm hearing, what is that movie with Martin? I'm a stand-up philosopher, right? Anyways, also in military, you're taking a bad situation and taking fire from an enemy. It can refer to criticism, um, defense. So here we've been taking this flack the whole time. And they're like, pat yourself on the back. You survived. Here you are. Ah, okay. So now they're saying play with that. So FLAC is actually known for high quality and high quality sound and efficient storage. It's good for choice for storing music long term because they don't lose quality over time, unlike MP3. FLAC files can reproduce the full range of sound from the original source. You guys, okay. So I'm just laughing at this because they're like, no, go deeper. So this is the meaning. Like, don't just look at the surface and take it for one meaning. Recognize that there's multiple things, multiple hands at play here. And so what was one thing or meant one thing can also mean something different. Now, granted, it's got a slightly different storage system. The letters are slightly different, but this is a double play on words. So we can reproduce the full range of sound from the original source. So we are connected to that, and we're not being scripted, is what I'm being shown. We're not being scripted anymore. We're off script. So that goes back to the trailer and the autopilot and playing with all these words. Like, so we're off script, which is really, we're a wild card, right? So let's play with that and really come back into our hearts so that we can create a new script and not subscribed to the old riffraff. We can now say, I'm going to subscribe to this, but we don't have to only subscribe to one thing. We can be this, I keep getting the word individual leaders in the collective, coming together and bringing all of our music together because we are all coming from that original sound. I'm hearing Sanskrit, right? Sans discs. So it's going back to it's recorded inside of us through our DNA to be full spectrum. And the fact that we haven't been full spectrum has been in part because of all the flack that we've taken over the years. But the irony is we are the flack in a different way. We are the creators and the sound from another perspective. So we will end with this note in mind. We invite you to tune into the node of the mind and the heart. For as we unwind through the heart technology, we restore the technology that was kept at bay, one might say, plain words. It was kept on a backup system, if you will. And now we are transmitting from a system, as an example, that was not necessarily heard in previous transcripts through the words that were transcribed based on an old played out system. So I'm being shown like you can't play a CD on an 8-track, right? You got a CD player, but you're not necessarily going to be able to stream music on a CD player. So we've been upgraded. Yet we also have all of the stuff that we had before as part of the human compact component that is the stereo. but we're able to access so much more. And I'm seeing that record when it moves forward, if you have like a, anyways, or a CD player. So we are able to access and harmonize all of that now. So we take the components that we are that are necessary for restoring certain base patterns, and we reflect back on that. We pull it into the mainstream now, and we merge and braid and weave with this new mainstream in our own diverse stream of, I'm hearing, running interference. So that's a play on words with football, but also interference, like we're messing with the mainstream. I like that. That's kind of fun. Yet the irony is eventually we're going to be the mainstream. So we want to create that flow and not be in constant battle with it. So it's like we're kind of doing it as a collective behind the scenes. And that's a play on words. Like it's behind what it is that we're seeing. Actually, if you go deeper, we are the resource. So don't believe everything that you're being told or what you're seeing, because that's where we're being called to use our intuition to come back online so we can then bring ourselves into that higher range, that higher line, and recognize the lines that we're being given and redirect that to our own synchronous, play on words, mind, body, heart connection point. When those two come together, they create a third. And this is a play on words based on my previous video, the 100th monkey effect, but they create a new tiger is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing tiger, tiger shining bright. How does that go? Can't remember that. Sorry. I'm going to end on that note though. No, I have to look at that because it's going to bug me now. Okay, I'm going to look this up. I think it's by Blake. Okay, William Blake, the tiger. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? Ooh, it's a beautiful. You guys, I just encourage you to read this. I'm going to post it. It's beautiful. I'm getting emotional. Whew, it's amazing how something written, this is the whole point. This was written, transcribed. I'm sharing it and transcribing it, which I won't even give it the fullness by me reading it. I would just read it because it's basically saying so much. What the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? It's just this to me. I'm going to read and I'm going to break it down because it means way more to me than it might have even meant to the person writing it. When we get these downloads and this information, it's multidimensional. It's beyond time. And they're showing me that what we're working within, this medium that we're working within, is so multidimensional. It is beyond time. So we're being invited to embrace the fullness of this. And if we can come back into compassion and we can really feel into the essence of humanity and not give up on humanity, we shift our reality just through that. And we also are being called to restore the brain-body connection. It's not just about being in the heart and not using our senses, like being sensible. Okay, I love alligators, so I'm going to go give it a hug. Or that person hurt my family, so I'm going to invite them to come live with us. Right? Common sense stuff. But also recognizing that we are invited to come into a place where we don't think everybody's that way, right? We come into a place where we don't blame our past on, I'm hearing anything but us. Like recognize that we all played our parts. We've all played our roles at one time or another. And it's going back to, we've changed our stripes from one perspective. We might have had a lifetime which we weren't the nicest. And now this lifetime, we're like, I am going to be a really, powerful leader and help people when in a previous lifetime we might have just been the person that everybody, we might have had a lot of people that worked under us and we weren't very nice. I could go on to all these different opportunities we're being given to say that was maybe me at one time. Maybe I made that choice at one time. Having compassion and using our senses and saying, well, that person really is, I don't know. I'm not going to go into all that. I'll let you kind of play with that on your own. So, in love and light, namaste.